Hi, my name's Kirk with Fontana Forni. I want to show you the quickest, easiest way to start a fire in the Fontana wood-fired oven. From time to time, we receive questions asking us how to do that, so let's take a look at what's needed. First of all, you need some sort of fire starter. You can use cubes, you can use newspaper. In our case, we're going to use ground up stumps. They ignite very quickly. We also need some form of kindling. We have pine that we're going to use. We normally don't burn pine in the oven, but to start the fire, it ignites quickly, and we're going to use just a small amount of that in the beginning. Then we'll move on to our hardwoods. We use hardwood, one, because it gives a more intense heat, puts off less smoke, and it burns longer. So we'll start out with smaller pieces of wood, and then we're going to move to larger pieces of wood once we have a good coal bed. The largest pieces we want to use are about 2 to 3 inches in diameter. If you use larger pieces, you don't get a hot enough fire inside of your oven because it burns a lot slower and just doesn't put off enough heat. To ignite all of this, you can use matches, you can use a barbecue starter. We like to use a small propane torch. It's very easy to use, very quick, and so that's our preferred way to light, but we also use an electric fire starter. The electric fire starter has the advantage of having a fan, and that fan blows air into the fire, and the fire ignites very quickly, and you get very intense heat in a short period of time. Once the oven is up to temperature, it's necessary to have a good quality brush. Ours has brass bristles, because with the very high temperatures you get inside of the oven, brass bristles are the only ones that are going to hold up. We also have a scraper on the back. When you're cooking in the oven, it's inevitable that from time to time something will spill over onto the stones. With the scraper, you can scrape it up and simply brush it into the fire. The oven comes equipped with a thermometer, which gives ambient temperature inside of the oven. However, particularly when you're cooking pizza, you need to know stone temperature. And in order to do that, it's necessary to have an infrared thermometer. You simply pull the trigger, it shoots an infrared beam to the stone, which shows up on your LCD display. This will give you accurate stone temperatures within a degree. And the stone temperature is very different from ambient temperature, so it's necessary to have that. And lastly, you need an ash shovel. The ash shovel is used to clean the ash out. Once the oven cools down, you simply scoop it out, put it in a bucket, and your oven is ready to be used in the future. Before we light the fire, the first thing you want to do is make sure that your damper is fully open. When your handle is horizontal, the damper's closed. When it's vertical, it's open. Make sure that it's open when you start the fire. Fontana also has a proprietary exhaust system. When the smoke exits the chimney, it makes a slight S pattern before it exits. This allows for better heat retention. And it also allows for the door to be fully closed while the fire is burning. It will not extinguish the fire. When we start the fire, we want to open the door a little bit. We'll cock it open a little bit so that you get good oxygen flow into the fire and you get a much quicker heat up time. So let's start the fire. Now we're going to start the fire. We're going to build it on the left-hand side of the oven because we have a corten steel shield on the left-hand side. The Fontana ovens have that reinforcement to reinsure that that dome's going to last a very long time. We're the only oven company that does that. Some people like to start the fire in the center of the oven. We do it on the left because we find it heats up the stones equally as well, and there's just less cleanup before you start cooking. On top of the fire starter, we're putting our kindling and a few pieces of oak. And then once that is beginning to burn well, we'll add some more oak. Let's light the fire. Now that our kindling is ignited, I'm gonna add some oak and we'll stack it up and build a nice big fire in here. That fire should billow all the way across the top of the dome. And the bigger the fire that we get going here, the quicker heat up time we're gonna get. Now, close the door, leave it cocked open a little bit, and let it sit for about 5 minutes. Now that the fire has taken, it's billowing across the top and the heat's building up inside of the oven, but we're gonna close the damper to about 45 degrees to keep as much heat inside as possible. As we just saw, the thermometer on the oven shows an ambient temperature of about 750 degrees. When we took the temperature with the infrared thermometer of the stones, it was about 550, so there's a difference between the two, and that's why it's important to have the infrared thermometer. When we cook pizza, we like to cook when the floor temperature is about 700 to 750 degrees. With the Saputo stones, you can go as high as 900. We've waited a few more minutes. The oven is now up to temperature and we're ready to cook. It's as simple as that. Buon appetito!